Okay, so we are going to take a look at the C major / minor pentatonic riffs. And what we're going to be doing is combining position 1 of C major pentatonic and position 1 of C minor pentatonic. So combining those notes to make some cool riffs that are a little bit outside of just, either one of those major or minor. It's kind of cool to make them into little hybrid scales in a sense. All right, so I wrote some riffs out, which we have. Let me open this up. So we have our riffs in here. Real quick, anytime we see these little, I'm losing the word, but these little connectors, that's not the word I'm looking for. But these over like 8 and 9 here, or 8 and 10, or 8, 9, 8, they're going to represent hammer-ons and pull-offs. Obviously, we have our bends here. And then when we see this type of thing, that means we're going to slide into that 9th fret on that G. And so, you'll see we're using a lot of hammer-ons throughout this and some bending. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on our backing track, and it's going to be at 70 beats per minute, and it's just over a C7 chord. So these riffs will work over this. So we're in 4/4. So that means we have 4 beats per measure. I'm going to count ourselves in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm going to start off with this riff right here. These first 2 measures. 4, 1, 2, 3. Terrible bend. Here we go. So what I'm doing for that first measure is I'm keeping my first finger barred on the G and B on the 8th fret. So I'm doing hammer on, pick 8. Next riff we have is going to go from this 3rd measure into the 4th, into the 5th, and into the 6th measure. Alright, so we have 1. So I'm going to change the name. 1, 2, 6th. One more time. Okay, so that was that measure. Take a look at the next one. So we are going to look now on these last 2 measures here. So what we're going to do, notice that we have these 8s all on top of each other. I'm going to bar those with my first finger, and I'm going to do a rake across those notes. So we'll take a look at how to do that rake real quick. So when I'm raking, I'm really muting my strings with the palm of my hand. Well, not the palm, but like the side of my hand. So we want to make sure we don't have no notes, no pitches or anything. So I'm gonna bar on the 8th fret, and I'm basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a strum, like I'm strumming a chord. We don't want to have the notes sound like this too much. We want to kind of have those. So really, the key to the rake is those notes on like the A and D string that we're not, fretting with our left hand. I'll do those in front of like regular notes too, like single notes. I love using rakes. It just gives more dynamics to your playing, more character, I think, too. All right, so I'll turn the backing track back on and keep powering through. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I have this riff here, and then some bends here. We got a bend on the 10th fret, which is a half bend, and then on the 8th fret with our first finger, with our quarter bend. Notice when I play this riff, I'm keeping my finger, first finger around the 8th fret. I'm not moving it when I switch up to the 11th fret or anywhere. So I'm going to do just that measure. It's kind of a... those two measures, measure 7 and 8. Notice that first finger. So I have another type of where I'm barring with my first finger. Anytime where I have these notes stacked, that means we're playing them all at once. So with the 8s all stacked, I'm using my first finger, and with the 10s, I am using my third finger. Notice with this first 8 here, we have a hammer on, only on the G to the 9th fret. So I'll show you what that looks like. Let it ring. Fast. Okay, so the riff is going to be this. Different rhythm. I'm just going to repeat that 9th measure. One more time. Change that rhythm. Either one. Or. And I'll do that next measure, which is at 10, 9, 10, 10. Alright. Keep moving. Now we're going to do here to here. And we'll notice we kind of have that same hammer on the 9 on the G and that 10 on D. We're just going to do it twice. That in itself is a cool riff. So yeah. That's all I'm doing. Throw in this riff for this riff, I'm really kind of like, you can do all hammer-ons and pull-offs here. Go back, I'll do those two. So I have... that in itself, that, let's see, the 12th measure. That's kind of a cool riff. And then you can kind of build upon that. Do that riff again. So here's back to the main riff, or the two as written. 11 and 12. Now we'll take a look at this one. So I'm gonna leave my my first finger pretty much barred on those eighth fret there. So this riff is gonna sound like this. One, two, three, four. So that's it right there. A lot going on. Want to be mindful that you're hitting these hammer-ons here, here, and here. Okay. Riff, which is kind of starts off like the one before. Oh, we want to bend this note too. Make sure you bend that down and let that arrow in. So we're gonna go. So I'm going to do both those measures again. That's just that last measure. 8, 10, 8, 10, 8. So I'm going to now last two measures. So that is, so those are our riffs. I'm actually going to play through the whole thing now, just so you can hear kind of the flow of it. So let me start this back up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to restart on the rake measure, measure 7. Keep going. So that is going through those changes. Like I said before, really try and notice when you're adding a note that's not in like the minor pentatonic scale. A lot of times it's that note on the 9th fret on that G. That note works so well going in between the two. We'll also see like on the high E string, that 10th fret and 11th fret on high E. Same with the B string, 10 and 11. those notes, you can kind of go in between them. And what you can do too is if you're improvising and say you kind of land on like the 10th fret on the E string of the major pentatonic, you could bend that note and it'll bring it into that minor sound too. So kind of notice where those notes are like right next to each other, like a fret apart, one's major, one's minor. You could bend that note into, you know, it's either major or minor counterpart there as a way too. But go through this nice and slow. I went on at 70 beats per minute, and yeah, keep improvising past this as well.